Welcome to Angola, a vast nation of compelling contrasts in southwestern Africa. This is a land forged by a tumultuous history, blessed with breathtaking natural beauty, and powered by the resilient spirit of its people. Our journey begins in the capital, Luanda. Perched on the Atlantic coast, this sprawling metropolis is the nation's political and economic engine, home to over 8 million people. Once known as the Paris of Africa, Luanda is now a city of rapid transformation. Gleaming skyscrapers line the picturesque bay, a testament to an oil-fueled boom. Yet, this modern facade exists alongside sprawling musekwes, or informal settlements, highlighting the profound economic disparities that remain a central challenge. The nation's identity is powerfully encapsulated in its flag, adopted upon independence in 1975. The red stripe represents the bloodshed during the long struggle for freedom, while the black stripe signifies the African continent. At its heart lies an emblem reflecting the political ideology of the new nation. The gear wheel symbolizes industrial workers and modernization. The machete represents agricultural laborers and the armed struggle for liberation. The yellow star signifies progress and internationalism, its design influenced by socialist symbolism, reflecting the MPLA party's roots at the time. Angola's immense scale covers over 1.2 million square kilometers. It shares borders with the Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia, and Namibia, with a 600-kilometer Atlantic coastline to the west. A unique feature is the province of Cabinda, an oil-rich exclave separated from the mainland by a strip of the DRC. The nation's topography is remarkably diverse. A narrow, arid coastal plain influenced by the cold Benguela current stretches along the Atlantic, merging into the Namib Desert in the south. Moving inland, the land rises sharply to a vast interior plateau or planalto, which covers most of the country. Here, at higher altitudes, the climate is cooler and wetter, creating fertile highlands that are the source of Angola's most important river systems. These great rivers, including the Kwanza, which gives the currency its name, and the Kunene, are the lifeblood of the nation, crucial for agriculture, hydroelectric power, and sustaining communities. This vast landscape is home to approximately 35 million people, forming a vibrant mosaic of cultures. The three largest ethnic groups are the Ovimbundu, the Ambundu, and the Bakongo, but dozens of other groups contribute to the nation's rich cultural tapestry. A defining characteristic of Angola's demography is its youth. With a significant majority of Angolans under the age of 25, this youth bulge represents both immense potential for future growth and a formidable challenge for the country's education system and job market. While Luanda is the primary urban center, rapid urbanization is also transforming other cities like Huambo, Lobito, and Benguela into bustling hubs of commerce. Navigating this diverse society is a complex linguistic landscape. The official language is Portuguese, a colonial legacy that now functions as a crucial lingua franca, bridging communication gaps. However, the mother tongues of most Angolans are indigenous Bantu languages. Several of these, including Mbundu, Kimbundu, and Kikongo, are recognized as national languages. As a result, multilingualism is the norm for many Angolans, who fluidly switch between Portuguese and their local languages in daily life, creating a unique linguistic blend reflected in the nation's vibrant music and oral traditions. The national currency is the Angolan Kwanza. Its history reflects the nation's turbulent economic past, having undergone several reforms to combat hyperinflation that followed the devastating civil war. Today, Angola's economy is dominated by its immense natural resource wealth. It is one of sub-Saharan Africa's largest oil producers and a member of OPEC, with offshore oil fields accounting for the vast majority of its exports. The country is also a significant global producer of high-quality diamonds. Recognizing the vulnerability of this reliance, a key national priority is now economic diversification, a strategic push to develop sectors like agriculture, fisheries, and tourism, aiming to build a more sustainable and resilient economy for the future. Angola is a vast and geographically diverse nation situated on the southwestern coast of the African continent. As the seventh largest country in Africa, its territory spans over 1.2 million square kilometers, an area larger than France and Spain combined. This immense scale is immediately apparent from space, revealing a country defined by a long, 600-kilometer Atlantic coastline to its west. This coastal access has been fundamental to Angola's history, trade, and identity for centuries. A unique and crucial feature of Angola's geography is the exclave of Cabinda, a province separated from the rest of the country by a narrow strip of land belonging to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Rich in oil, Cabinda is strategically and economically vital, possessing its own distinct coastline and borders. Angola shares extensive land borders with 4 neighboring nations, each shaping its regional dynamics. To the north and northeast lies its longest border, a sprawling 500-kilometer frontier with the Democratic Republic of Congo. This border is a complex tapestry of dense rainforest and shared river systems. To the east, Angola shares a border with Zambia, a region characterized by vast plains and the headwaters of the mighty Zambezi River. In the south, the border with Namibia is defined in part by the Kunene River, transitioning into the arid landscapes that fringe the Namib Desert. And critically, the exclave of Cabinda shares its borders not only with the DRC, but also with the Republic of the Congo to its north, placing it in a complex geopolitical position. Angola's terrain can be understood as a journey from west to east, divided into 3 primary geographical zones. It begins with a narrow coastal plain, arid and desert-like in the south near the Namib, but becoming progressively more humid and vegetated towards the north. This coastal strip is cooled by the influence of the cold, northbound Benguela current, which creates a surprisingly temperate and often foggy climate. Rising dramatically from this coastal lowland is a transitional zone of hills and steep escarpments. This subplateau zone acts as a great wall, climbing sharply to the country's vast interior. The heart of Angola is the immense interior plateau, known as the Planalto. This high-altitude tableland covers nearly 2/3 of the country, with an average elevation of over 1,000 meters. This is where the majority of Angola's population lives, and where much of its agriculture thrives, thanks to a more temperate climate and higher rainfall than the coast. This plateau is home to the Angolan highlands, the country's highest and most rugged terrain. It is here that we find Angola's highest peak, Mount Moko, which soars to an impressive 2,620 meters above sea level, standing as a silent sentinel over the nation. This central plateau is the birthplace of some of southern Africa's most important rivers. The Kwanza River, arguably Angola's most significant, rises in the highlands and flows westward for nearly 1,000 kilometers before emptying into the Atlantic, just south of the capital. It is so integral to the nation's identity that it gives its name to the currency, the Kwanza. While the mighty Congo River only briefly touches Angola, forming a small part of its northernmost border, the country's highlands are the source for other continental giants. Crucially, the waters of the famous Okavango River begin their journey here, flowing southeast across the country before entering Botswana to form the spectacular Okavango Delta, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Similarly, major tributaries of the powerful Zambezi River also have their origins in eastern Angola, contributing to one of Africa's greatest river systems. Angola's climate is as varied as its topography. The country experiences 2 distinct seasons, a cool, dry season from roughly May to October and a hot, rainy season from November to April. However, this simple division belies significant regional differences. The south is largely arid to semi-arid, an extension of the Kalahari's influence. The central highlands enjoy a temperate, almost subtropical climate with abundant rainfall. The north, including the Cabinda exclave, is fully tropical, characterized by high heat, heavy rainfall, and dense rainforests, especially during the wet season. This diverse geography is dotted with vibrant cities and breathtaking natural landmarks. The capital, Luanda, is a bustling metropolis on the Atlantic coast. It is the nation's political, cultural, and economic engine, a city of stark contrasts where gleaming modern skyscrapers stand alongside historic Portuguese colonial fortresses, and a vibrant bay, the Marginal, serves as its social heart. Further south along the coast lies Benguela, a city steeped in history. Known for its beautiful colonial architecture, it was once a major hub in the transatlantic slave trade, and today serves as a vital port and the terminus for the historic Benguela Railway. Inland on the central plateau is Huambo, once a rival to Luanda for prominence and now a key center for agriculture and transport. But beyond the cities, Angola's raw, natural beauty is its most stunning feature. The magnificent Kalandula Falls, one of Africa's largest waterfalls by volume, thunderously plunges over 100 meters into a horseshoe-shaped canyon, creating a perpetual cloud of mist. In the highlands near Lubango, the Tundavala Fissure offers a jaw-dropping spectacle, a massive crack in the edge of the plateau that drops away for a sheer kilometer, providing dizzying views over the plains below. And just south of Luanda, the Miradoro da Lua, or viewpoint of the moon, presents an otherworldly landscape of sharp ochre-colored cliffs, sculpted by millennia of wind and rain into a surreal, lunar-like vista. This tapestry of dramatic landscapes, from desert coasts to highland sources of great rivers, defines the powerful and unforgettable geography of Angola. The climate and weather vary significantly across the country, from tropical in the north to semi-arid in the south. The Central Plateau experiences a more temperate climate with distinct wet and dry seasons. The coastal regions benefit from the moderating influence of the Atlantic Ocean. Unique wildlife includes African elephants, which roam the country's national parks and protected areas. The giant sable antelope, found only in Angola, serves as the country's national animal and symbol of conservation efforts. The nature reserves protect over 900 bird species and countless other endemic animals. Long before European ships reached its shores, the land we now call Angola was a tapestry of sophisticated societies. Great kingdoms, such as the powerful Kingdom of Congo in the north, and the Ndongo and Lunda empires further inland, flourished for centuries. These states developed complex political structures, extensive trade networks that moved goods like ivory and copper, and rich artistic traditions. The Kingdom of Ndongo in particular would produce one of Africa's most formidable historical figures, Queen Nzinga Mbanda. A brilliant diplomat and military strategist, her legendary resistance against Portuguese encroachment in the 17th century remains a powerful symbol of Angolan strength and resilience. The brief history begins with Portuguese colonization in the 16th century, which lasted for over 400 years. Following the arrival of explorer Diogo Cao in 1483, what began as trade relations tragically shifted to the brutal transatlantic slave trade. The Portuguese founded Luanda in 1576, establishing it as a key port for this horrific enterprise, which forcibly sent millions of Angolans to the Americas, profoundly scarring the region. Despite fierce resistance, Portugal solidified its control during the late 19th century scramble for Africa, imposing a colonial system that exploited the region's resources and subjugated its people for generations. The 20th century saw the rise of nationalist movements like the MPLA, FNLA, and UNITA, which waged a long war for independence. Following Portugal's 1974 Carnation Revolution, Angola gained independence in 1975, a moment of immense hope. However, this was followed by a devastating civil war that lasted until 2002. Deep ideological divisions, exacerbated by the Cold War, turned the conflict into a brutal proxy war. The Soviet Union and Cuba backed the ruling MPLA government, while the United States and apartheid South Africa supported UNITA rebels. The 27-year war tore the nation apart, claiming over 500,000 lives and leaving a legacy of destruction. With the dawn of peace, Angola faced the monumental task of national reconciliation and rebuilding. The country has since focused on reconstruction and economic development, emerging as a regional power. Fueled by vast oil revenues, a massive effort was launched to rebuild roads, hospitals, and schools, and to undertake the perilous work of demining the countryside. This post-war boom transformed cityscapes, particularly the capital, Luanda, which saw a surge in new construction. This period marked a pivotal turn from a nation defined by conflict to one focused on building a prosperous future for its people. The system of government is a presidential republic with a strong executive branch and multi-party democracy. This framework was solidified by the 2010 Constitution, which designates the president as both head of state and head of government, granting significant authority to the office. The imposing presidential palace in Luanda stands as a symbol of this executive power. While Angola officially operates with multiple political parties, the political landscape has been largely dominated by the Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angola, or MPLA, since independence, creating a complex dynamic between the long-standing ruling party and a growing opposition. The current leader is President João Lourenço, who has been in office since 2017, implementing various reforms. A key focus of his administration has been tackling systemic corruption and working to diversify the nation's economy away from its heavy dependence on oil revenues. The legislative branch is the Unicameral National Assembly, or Assembleia Nacional. Comprising 220 members, it serves as the primary forum for national debate. The National Assembly serves as the legislative branch, representing the diverse regions and peoples of Angola and holding the crucial responsibility of creating and approving the nation's laws. Religion plays a significant role, with Christianity, particularly Catholicism, practiced by the majority of the population. Traditional African religions and spiritual practices continue to influence daily life and cultural identity. Religious tolerance and diversity characterize modern Angolan society. Famous traditions and festivals include the annual Luanda Carnival, featuring elaborate costumes and traditional dances. Wedding ceremonies blend Portuguese and African traditions, creating unique cultural celebrations. Harvest festivals celebrate the agricultural heritage and community bonds that define rural Angola. The national dress includes vibrant traditional fabrics and clothing that reflect the country's rich cultural heritage. Symbols of identity include the national emblem featuring the machete and gear wheel, representing agriculture and industry. Cultural performances showcase the diverse ethnic traditions that unite under the Angolan national identity. Popular sports include football, which dominates the sporting landscape and unites people across all regions. Basketball has gained tremendous popularity, with Angola's national team achieving international recognition. Traditional sports and martial arts preserve ancient competitive traditions and physical culture. Famous food and cuisine feature mwamba de galinha, a flavorful chicken stew with palm oil and vegetables. Coastal regions specialize in fresh seafood dishes that reflect the country's extensive Atlantic coastline. Traditional cooking methods and indigenous ingredients create unique flavors that define Angolan cuisine. Music and dance traditions include samba, the national music genre that influenced Brazilian samba. Traditional dances accompany the music, telling stories and preserving cultural narratives through movement. Modern musicians blend traditional sounds with contemporary styles, keeping cultural heritage alive for new generations. Main industries are dominated by oil production, which accounts for the majority of government revenues and exports. Diamond mining represents another crucial industry, making Angola one of the world's top diamond producers. Agriculture provides employment for millions and produces coffee, cotton, and other important crops. Exports include crude oil, diamonds, refined petroleum products, and agricultural commodities to global markets. Imports consist mainly of machinery, vehicles, medicines, food products, and manufactured goods. The GDP ranking places Angola among Africa's largest economies, though economic diversification remains a priority. Famous landmarks and tourist spots include the Fortress of São Miguel, a 16th-century Portuguese fort overlooking Luanda. Kisama National Park offers wildlife safaris and conservation experiences just south of the capital city. The historic Benguela Railway represents an important transportation link and engineering achievement. World Heritage Sites include Mbanza Congo, the ancient capital of the Kingdom of Congo, and a UNESCO site. The Tundavala Gap offers spectacular views and represents one of Angola's most dramatic natural landmarks. Traditional crafts and artwork showcase the creative talents and cultural expressions of Angolan people. Unique things Angola is known for include its remarkable recovery from civil war, vast natural resources, and rich cultural diversity. The resilience and determination of the Angolan people continue to drive the country toward a prosperous future. Angola stands as a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the promise of Africa's bright future.